Hey Year 4s and welcome to Writing Wednesday. So today we're going to be starting our draft to our procedures that we planned last week. So do not start a new plan, do not start new writing, you are going to be beginning your draft. So in particular, we're going to look at our I can statement to work out what do we need in our draft. So our I can statement is, I can plan, draft a procedure using organisation, excellent word choice, and voice. Now let's go through each of these aspects and see what exactly are the things that I need in my draft today. So we know organisation, that's the text structure. Here my text structure is TAMM. I'm going to give you a few seconds to have a think. What do each of these letters stand for in the organisation of a text structure of procedure? Okay, so here I'm going to go through them and I want you to see if you are correct. So our number one thing at the beginning is a title. After the title, in a procedure, we need to make sure we have the aim. Remember, the aim is telling the person what they're going to be making. The next one is the materials. Or in some cases, you might also need the ingredients. So I'm going to write ingredients down here. So it might also be the ingredients. Like today, yesterday we looked at a procedure, and the procedure didn't really have any materials, but we needed ingredients because it was a recipe. The last M is for the method, so they are the steps. So we need to make sure we have the steps. Our next thing is excellent word choice. Now, last week we looked with Miss W and she did lots of these. Verbs, action words, doing words, the things that cause the movement. And then this week, yesterday, we looked at something called adverbs. And adverbs describe how you're moving. So stirring is the verb, carefully is the adverb. Combine is the verb, slowly is the adverb. And lucky last, we need to make sure that we have a really clear voice in our procedure. And because a procedure is not really there to entertain, it's not really there to persuade, it's actually there to inform. It's telling someone what to do. Okay? So in this case, you'd probably be speaking in what they call second person. This is where you use a lot of the words, like things like you can, you should. So second person is when you're telling someone what to do. It's not first person where you usually say, I'm going to do this. Or third person saying, Miss B is going to do this. You're telling the person what to do. So therefore it is second person and you use a lot of the word you. Now I'm going to start with what good writers always need to do, and that is check their plan. Now Miss Ridderford did my plan last week, which is great because it means we're doing lots of teamwork. So here I'm going to check and I'm going to look through and I'm going to go, I think I might choose one of the things that she has put down here as one of my options that I'm going to write about today, because I can't write about every single thing, but I could write lots of procedures and then put them together and almost make a little book of procedures on how to play chess. So I'm going to choose one section of our how to play chess and create a procedure on that. So I know Miss Ridderford was looking at the organisation. That's what we should always start with when we're planning our work. So she has used our TAM method, title, aim, materials method. So how to play chess for beginners. So it's people that are starting out and don't know how to play. Beginners, that is her intended audience. Here, she knows she needs a chessboard, the king, queens, rooks, bishops, knights, and pawns. And she has lots of options here, and I'm going to choose one. How to set up a board, how the pieces move, how to begin the game, rules, and how to determine the winner. Well, I think I might start with step 1 of the procedures, which is in order to play, you need to know how to set up your board. So that's what I'm going to use today. Thanks, Miss Ridderford, for the awesome plan. Okay, here I go, my first draft. Now, my first draft doesn't need to be perfect, remember? It just needs to be able to get as much information down in an order that I can using my plan. So here I've got my voices chart. to remind myself what I need to have within my draft. So with my voice, I need to be commanding, so I need to be telling the person what to do, and also I need to give off a lot of information, so I need to be commanding and informative. I'm also seeing here that I need to be in second person. I need to make sure I have my organization, and I also need to make sure that idea is the process of making or doing something. Okay, so my procedure is about setting up a chessboard, so therefore that's doing something. So I think I can give myself a tick so far for that one. Clear, so my readers can see what they need to do and when to read. So I need to make sure I'm using commas for lists, dot points, numbering, subheadings so they can follow through. For my excellent vocabulary, I need to use action verbs, adverbs, and irregular verbs. And for my last part, I need to make sure I can follow my own procedure. So a good idea is to read it through or get someone else to read it to see if they can visualize in their head what they need to do. So first of all, I'm just going to put up here my T for title to remind myself where my title goes. And my title, I'm going to leave that until afterwards. So my aim here, my aim is to. I'm going to start with a rhetorical question. Have you ever set up a chessboard? Question mark. No? Then here are some steps to get you started. If you've noticed, I haven't just gone how to set up a chessboard. I've made sure that it is a little bit entertaining for the reader, so then they don't get bored with my procedure. So I know that I need some materials. I think the number one thing we need to make sure we have, I'm going to use dot points because I notice over here it says to use dot points. So materials, I need a chessboard. And I know Miss Ridderford listed off all the chess pieces, but I know if you have a chessboard set, you should have all the chessboard pieces. So I'm going to say here, all chess pieces. And then what I might do is do this. I know I need a king. I need a queen. I need bishops, rooks, knights. I also need pawns to be able to set up my board. Now I'm going to move on to my method. So here you've noticed I've made sure in my conventions, so this part here, that I've been using subheadings. My subheadings are aim, materials, and now method. I've also been using dot points here and here. And I've also just made sure that I've used commas here, 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 and here. So my conventions are looking pretty good in my draft. Now I'm going to move on to my method. So I'm going to actually do numbering because I noticed that numbering is also an option. So number one, you need to lay out your board flat. Make sure a light square, so I'm going to put in here white in brackets, because sometimes some chessboards aren't necessarily white. They have a different colour square, so I'm going to say a light square. So whatever the light square is, you need to put down there. So a light square is in the right bottom corner. Now I'm not going to go back just yet and have a reread because I'm going to do that in my revising time next week. I just want to make sure I'm getting this first draft done, making sure I'm thinking about my verbs that I've got. So lay out, good verbs. I'm making sure I'm telling the person where to go, right bottom corner. Okay, step 2. Set up pawns on the second row. This row is called the won't let me write there. That's okay. We'll move it over. Is called, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cross that out and we're going to go to my next page. So I'm going to continue on because I noticed I didn't have enough room and it wasn't letting me write. So I'm going to continue on to the next page. So here I wrote, so this row is called the second rank. So I'm giving the author a little bit of, or the reader, a little bit of information extra so they know what to do. Just in case I say the word rank later on and therefore they know what I mean. So my next step, so now I'm going to put the number 3. Notice how whenever I do the next step, I make sure to put the number underneath. I noticed in some of your plans you decided to put them all in a big clump. Each step needs to go underneath. So step 3, place the rooks in the corner and then here 4, place the knights next to the rooks. After you've done that, you have to go step 5. Place the bishops next to the knights. I'm noticing something here. I'm using place. Oh, I'm going to underline that just because it's a little bit boring and I might want to like upskill it later. So I'm going to underline it to upskill later. Then after that, after our 5th step, I'm going to go step 7. And I'm going to use the word place again because I know that in my revising stage, I'm going to go and look for synonyms for that word and upskill it. So place. Bit boring, but I'm going to go back and revise and upskill. So place your king in the last. Oh, no, we forgot someone. We forgot the queen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cross it out because I'm pretty good. I'm just going to cross it out. And I'm going to go here, place the queen next to the, cross it out, the bishop on the right and the king goes in the last square. Repeat on the other side. Okay, I'm going to now go back and reread. So now I'm going to go back, reread, maybe underline some things that I might want to change next week when I'm revising, but I don't have to change them now. So I haven't got a title, so that's something that I might need to think of doing. Now remember, you don't need to think of your title straight away. Aim. Have you ever set up a chessboard? No? Then here are some steps to get you started. You know what? I think that's a good entertaining start to my story. My next is materials. So I need a chessboard, all the chess pieces, king, queens, bishops, rooks, knights and pawns. I think that's pretty good as well because I've listed all of those things in my method as I've gone as well. Method. Lay out your board flat. Make sure the light square on the right bottom corner is in the right bottom square of the corner. Maybe you know what I need to do. I might need to add in which colour do I need to start with. Okay. Set up pawns on the second row. This row, and then I decided to start a new sentence, so I don't really need this part here and this part here because I'm going to go to the next page. This row is called the second rank. I'm giving extra good information just in case the reader wants to know a little bit more about chess. I've given them a little bit of information. Place the rooks in the corner. Place the knights next to the rooks. Place the bishop next to the knights. Place the king next to the bishop on the right and the king goes on the last square. Repeat on the other side. I think maybe this sentence is too long. And I think also I might need to find a synonym for the word place. Do you notice what I'm doing on the side? I'm adding little notes to myself for when I go to revise, I know what I need to go and do. These are the things that you need to be doing when you're doing your first draft so you know what to do next for your revising stage, which is what Miss W is going to do next week. Now it's your turn to go onto Seesaw and start your first draft. Remembering your organisation, TAMM, title, aim, materials, ingredients, method and steps. You also need to be remembering your voice. It's commanding. It's telling someone what to do. And it's also using second person. Telling the person what to do using the word you. You are going to place the item there. Not I'm going to place the item there or Miss B is going to place the item there. It's you. You're telling the person what to do. You also need to remember that excellent word choice. We've been working hard on verbs and adverbs for the last 2 weeks and I want to see some in your writing. Good luck and I'll see you on Seesaw.